Imagine this scene. Summer, 1944. The sky glows crimson from bombs falling over the oil fields of Romania, as Allied planes unleash dozens of rockets to undermine German power. Amid this chaos, some pilots soared through the upper clouds, only to suddenly find their wings disappearing, regaining control over occupied Yugoslavia. In a moment, a bird once proud of the skies turns into a dim object, crashing violently among the dense Serbian forests. This was the beginning of the Halyard story, a tale that has not been told as it should. A story of heroism ignited by General Draža Mihailović and his resistance fighters, side by side with American OSS intelligence agents. The first chapter begins when the OSS realized that behind enemy lines, relentless pursuit was underway, and that dozens of planes were going down without rescue. That's when OSS officer George Vunović fiercely pushed his superiors to execute a bold plan, to establish a landing corridor on land no war squadron had ever set foot on. With the help of George Mussolini, Gav Michael Rajacic, and Arthur Jabilian, the team landed in the small village of Pranjani, where they were met by cautious and watchful resistance fighters. Work began immediately. Axes, shovels, and ox carts, everyone contributed seeds of hope in land scarred by the occupiers' tyranny. Over long, harsh days and nights, a muddy airstrip was shaped into an unexpected welcome mat. The soldiers knew the shrieks of bombings would not break their resolve. They were building more than a runway. They were constructing a cry that declared, "Humanity still lives here." Then, on a dark night, when the ripples of sound hinted at the possible approach of a German aircraft, the landing scene reached peak suspense. A faint grey glow from handheld lamps and the roar of C-47 engines shattering the mountain silence. The hearts of amateur resistance fighters pounded with fear, while trapped airmen ran toward the wings, every second a struggle for survival. The planes took off quickly, carrying over 270 souls to freedom, Americans, British, French, even Russians. Villagers gathered on rocky ledges, waving, as if bidding farewell to their new friends. It was a farewell between bayonets of tension and the cold damp of the mountains, yet it overflowed with hope. And the operation didn't stop there. Between August and December, the runway reopened and fighter planes returned for more landings and takeoffs. On every flight, a new group of liberated souls boarded. In total, 512 airmen were rescued, most of whom would return to claim victory in the skies over Europe. When the war ended, silence fell over the story of Halyard. Politics blinded eyes to General Mihailović's and his fighters' valor. Britain chose to believe Tito's government. The villages remained quiet, and the muddy runway was buried in memory. Decades passed before recognition came. A quiet step came with the awarding of the Legion of Merit, never publicly announced. A monument finally rose in Pranjani in 2004, telling future generations, "Here occurred the greatest hidden rescue mission of WWII." This story is not just about a downed plane, it's about a will that refused to surrender. Here, in the heart of the Serbian forests, fear triumphed over despair, and humanity left an indelible mark, to remind us that in the darkest hours, solidarity creates miracles.